Hey y'all, this is Southern Woods here, back again with another hunting video. Bad news is, this is only my second time going and it's now mid-October. Good news is I'm finally going and I'll be able to hunt now and tomorrow morning. Reason being, I haven't found the time, and whenever I have been available, it decides to heat back up into the 80s around here. But it's finally cool. It's low 60s right now. It's gonna be in the 30s tomorrow morning. So I don't exactly know where I'm going. I'm gonna try to walk around a bit, find some fresh sign, and maybe make a small little hunting blind before I set down. So come with me, let's see what we can make happen. So this little spot I'm in has always been a hotbed for buck activity, as you can see. We got this rub, which was probably made a couple weeks ago. Maybe it's a little older, but I mean, it's still got this stuff hanging off of it, so it's fresh. It looks pretty big too. But this area has always been a hotbed for buck activity. I think I may try to make a mock scrape around the area as well, and then use that same can a little bit down the way. I don't know, but I love coming here. It gets me pumped because there's definitely some big bugs that hang around this spot. So I was clearing out a spot to maybe sit in this area because I could look up the trail, or to my left, I thought maybe not too far from where I made the mock scrape. Anyways, I'm rubbing the ground and I spooked off a big bodied, I assume, buck who ran down the hill towards the creek. They didn't blow. I think they thought I was another buck. Now I'm debating if I stay put in this area or move to a spot where I may be able to find him, or just keep going in the direction I was. I'm not too sure, but I'll keep you updated. So I ended up perching up on this hill, hoping my jacket provides enough cover to where they can't see me from behind. There's a good chance they may come up on that ridge behind me. I don't know. It didn't really feel right, but I guess it's what I'm doing. And I'll show you all in a second. I have no fucking cover. It's just not a good spot anywhere to put up a blind. So I'm gonna have to be real quiet and real still if I'm gonna pull anything off. I did make another mock scrape right over there, so that way maybe they can check it out and get in my sight. Oh, I have no fucking chance of nailing one, but I'm gonna try. All right, y'all. Anthony claims he got one himself, of course. Can't 100% confirm, but I'm gonna go over where he is and, help him locate it. So we'll see what happens. I mean, this probably means that this video for me is over, but depending on how much he lets me film, we'll see what happens. Of course, though, Anthony has, a morning and an evening prior to me taking off work. Doesn't get one. But since I'm now available to help him, he gets one. It's never the other way around. It's never the Lord puts him in place to help me drag it out. Anthony's just the natural of the family. smokes one every year lately. Oh man, Dad, dry as a desert. But it's okay, at least I saw one today before I got the call. Once my pocket started buzzing, I knew what was up. All right, let's get her going. I'll get back with y'all once I'm at Anthony. So this hunting journey took a tragic turn. After reviewing the footage, after not finding the deer for a bit, Anthony probably just missed the vitals and hit the front shoulder blade instead. We did end up finding it bedding down, but then we spooked it and it ran off some more. So we have no choice but to hang out here and either go back out later tonight or in the morning and hope that it died. It's one of the tough situations, but you know, it's part of it. You know, it's a game of inches, and you know, it just, you know, barely hit the wrong spot sort of thing. But I'll let you know when we go out to hopefully find it. See what happens. It's tough, but it's part of it. To all the young hunters out there, anyone who will eventually deal with a similar situation, it's part of it. You know, not every shot's going to be super clean and perfect. You're going to have moments like this. Sadly, that's one we got right now. So I'll be back.
Well, you telling yourself and me?
Hey, you.
Me?
Yeah. Big ass Joro spiders. Oh. All right, y'all, this is where he was laying earlier before we spooked him right before dark. And then he should have ran off down that way, more than likely. Anthony's kind of following the blood trail back to where he probably came from originally, but you know, he wasn't bleeding a whole bunch, but he was bleeding for sure. We finally got back on the blood trail after 2 hours of searching so far at night. Let's hope we find him. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord, for leading us to him. All right, y'all, so we finally got the buck back home and on ice. So I'll tell you what happened, give you a synopsis. That way y'all have the full story. Anthony shot it, right, about 6:30, 7 o'clock. Pretty good shot. Ended up going right behind the shoulder blade, through a rib and into the spine. I think nicking the lung as well, maybe. Overall, pretty good shot. It didn't end up going super far altogether. A good distance, but not terribly far. But initially, when we first found the deer the first time, it was still alive. Anthony spooked it, it ran off. and we thought it was a lot more lively than what it actually was. We thought it ran off a lot further, so we backed off because it was getting dark, right? We go out a few hours later around 10 o'clock, all right, hoping, you know, that it's dead and not alive still. We look around the area where we thought it ran off to. Looked a while, couldn't find, all right, the body, and then what ended up being a doe came to check us out, but we didn't know it was a doe at the time. We thought maybe it was the buck walking around hurt, and it took us a while to verify that it was not the buck, but rather a curious doe. And we go back to, you know, where we initially spooked it. All right, really tried looking for a blood trail. All right, couldn't find one. We end up hiking the opposite way up the hill, all right, where we didn't think maybe it would go. Ended up on one of the main walking trails, and there was blood, and we ended up following it all the way down this walking trail and eventually found the buck further down that trail, and right behind a different neighborhood too. So it ended up, you know, it probably died not too long after we spooked it, but we didn't know. We thought maybe it was a worse shot than what it was. In those situations, it's better to just back off instead of spooking the deer much further, right? So it's just one of those, it could have been a much worse scenario. It ended up being better in a way, but ultimately, I mean, we didn't find the buck until about midnight, so 2 hours after we started searching. And now after getting it home, you know, field dressing it, putting it on ice, it's almost 3 in the morning. So just, you know, a lesson for the younger hunters, or any hunters. You know, it could happen like this to where it becomes an all-night ordeal, or you may not find it till the next day. And in real bad situations, you may not find it, and then, you know, weeks later you find the carcass in real tough situations. You know, hunting is a roll of the dice. Sometimes you could be a really good shot and still just barely miss your spot, and, you know, it could change your whole experience. But it's the way it goes, and don't beat yourself up if you end up having a situation like this or something a little bit worse. You know, that's my lesson I have to give y'all. But of course, you know, one of Anthony's first hunts of the season, he nails one, and I'm left stuck in my drought as well. If you want to see more hunting videos, hit us with that like button. If you want to see more outdoor videos or food reviews, anything like that in general, hit the subscribe button, join the Southern Woods community. And without further ado, I'll see y'all in the next one. Southern Woods. Hold on, funny story real quick if you made it to the end. While we're looking at this doe and looking around, we end up noticing there's a trail camera. So we have a crossbow, right, still, just in case we have to take out the buck again if it's still alive. We have bright flashlight. It looks like we were spotting or poaching, and of course Anthony goes, oh shit, a trail camera, let's get out of here. So it just made it look worse. Anyways, funny story for the end. Southern Woods out.